When you're a barber and you cut another barber, you know the pressure's on. And today we're cutting another barber. Shout out to my guy Jimmy Fades for sliding all the way from Columbus, Ohio to the Cleveland area of Ohio. And we about to get him together. He's getting ready for Las Vegas Barber Expo. So you know we got to get him right. So I'm going to begin this haircut by creating 3 sections. One on the right, one in the middle, and one on his left. And if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Andre Morales. I've been a barber for about 9 years. And in those 9 years, I started to create content where I teach barbers how to cut hair at an efficient level. I'm gonna just give you all the tips and tricks that I know. So hopefully this video helps you. So as you can see, I created my middle section at the beginning with that left, right, and middle section, and I trimmed it, but I didn't get that recorded. So you'll notice that I'm taking horizontal sections moving forward, using that middle guideline that we already cut on the inside of my finger and matching his right side to that. Very simple, very easy. As you can see, we're already to the front. And now we're going to take horizontal sections using that middle section for the other side as well. So we're going to go ahead and pull up. And on this time, you'll see at the outside of my finger is where that middle section is. And we'll cut straight across. Scissor work does not always have to be intimidating. It can be very simple and very easy once you establish a system of cutting. Because you can just do it consistently and get better at it if you apply it to every single haircut. So we're gonna have our client look down, and as you can see, when I pull that horizontal section up, we're just gonna bring everything to that length, moving towards his parietal ridge. And if you want to learn more in depth my system of cutting that allows me to cut efficiently while at the same time keeping quality or increasing quality at a high level, I do have an online training program where I coach barbers through my system of cutting and how to scale their barber business to build clientele and use social media to get to where they want to be in their barber career. So if that is something you're interested in, go to the link in my bio and tap my online training program at Dre Clipper Hands Academy, and let's get you right. And now we're almost to the front of this trim. As you can see, we're just following that guideline. There's no guesswork here. Just applying this system step by step. Just going through, making sure that it's all even. And this last section is going to be the fringe. And then we'll add some texture. But if you guys don't know who Jimmy Fades is, man, his story is inspiring. So Jimmy is actually paralyzed from the waist down. His muscles still do work. But if you guys go check out his Instagram, you'll get to know a little bit more about him. Super inspiring, especially considering the level of quality that he puts haircuts out at despite his situation. And if you guys know me, especially on this channel, I'm all about drawing inspiration for people because I'm always trying to give inspiration to others and not making excuses. And this guy embodies not making excuses and just playing the cards he was dealt as if they were the cards, you know, he's always wanted, which obviously the situation is something no one ever hopes to be in, but he's using it and he's doing amazing things in the barber industry. Sponsored by Level 3, and like I said, man, the sky is the limit at the young age of 23. So if you want to go check him out at Jimmy.Fades, I believe, on Instagram, and follow his journey, man. Super inspiring, super motivating. But now what we're going to do is add some texture. So I'll take horizontal sections going fully across, and we're just point cutting. And why point cutting creates texture is because it's creating indentations in the hair, which is basically, you know, essentially unevenness that allows the hair to move, especially once you add product, and give it more of a textured look. Because a lot of guys that have straight hair, you know, and want something that's more flowy, more fluffy, adding texture really helps with that, so that way it's not laying down flat and not much to do with it. And at this point in the haircut, I'm probably about 8 minutes in real time from the consultation to him sitting down, so you can really see how efficiently we're doing this. And then when it gets to trimming the back of the faux hawk, I'll show you how easy that is as well. And if you guys have not already checked out my last video where I shaved my head at the young age of 25 years old, be sure to check that out. And in that video, I show you guys an update on the barbershop that will be opening hopefully in the next month and a couple weeks. So if you want to get an update with how that's going, make sure you check out the last video. And now for the back, we're going to start by creating a section down the middle. So in the back, I'm not creating 3 sections distinctively. I'm just going to create one section that's going to determine the length of the back, and then I'll show you how I bring everything to that length. So that same amount that we took off the top, we just picked off or picked up in the back, and we're going to move straight down. And I'm being sure as I get towards the bottom of the nape that I'm not moving my fingers closer to the head, because we want the back faux hawk to be all the same length. We don't want it to be shorter towards the bottom. Now I'm coming through and establishing that length one more time. And you'll see I flipped it around and coming underhand just because it's a little easier to grab that section towards the bottom of the neck. And now all I'm going to do is scoop up from the bottom, taking just little sections and bringing everything to that length that we established in the middle. As you can see, very simple, very easy. And now we're gonna go ahead and dry it to get into our fade. So we're not doing, you know, too much of a crazy style. We just want to get it dry, get it ready to start this fading process. So I'm just blasting the hair with medium to high heat to get it dry as we possibly can, because this is a messier look. It doesn't have to be super, you know, put together. As you can see, we have a nice shape that kept that way at the parietal ridge, and we're going to get it into the blend. So for the blend, we're going to start off with our bald line per usual at the end of the eyebrow, and then we'll go towards the back. So when doing a mohawk, unless they ask for it to be super skinny, I like to keep it pretty wide. So I'll start at the end of the eyebrow, and then I'll go to where I would establish, you know, the neckline up if I was to do a taper, and I'll round it all the way out going back. And it's really important, I feel, when doing a burst fade to make sure that, you know, you establish a line that's easy to follow, because this is a circular blend and you want to make sure you keep it circular throughout the entire fading process. So we want to make sure that we're building on that strong foundation. So I'm using my shaver just to get it slightly closer to the skin. And now we're going to come in with that lever open, and we're going to go up, I would say, about 1/4 inch. And we're still following that round shape that we created with that bald line. And since a lot of times doing burst fades can be a little hard just because of the angle that you have to hold the clipper and how tight the area can be as well, I use a lot of the corner of the blade. As you can see right here, I'm using the right corner of my blade in the back of the head. So that's another neat trick, so that way you don't risk taking it up too far up and then too far back as well. So I'll go over it a few times just to make sure that it is truly a lever all the way open. And after this step, I already start to begin to realize that his hair is going to be super easy to blend just by the way, you know, it feels while I'm cutting and how it's looking when I'm establishing these lines. But to get rid of that line in between the bald and the open, I'm coming in closed. And as I move up within this lever, I open up that lever notch by notch. But I'm being sure to be lever all the way open as I get towards the top of that guideline. And if you guys are enjoying this video so far, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're really feeling it, make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know what you think so far. And now step by step we build this fade. So we're going to go on to our one guard with that lever open, and we're going to go up about the same distance, right? We want this to be nice, gradual, and consistent as we transition into the top and back. So I'm being sure to make the width of that guideline the same as we did with the lever open. And at this point, I think I tell him, man, your hair is fading like butter. And I can already tell that it is. That's why he gave me that giggle. But I'm just coming in with this one guard and scooping out. I don't want this line to be too harsh because I don't want to create more work for myself. I want to blend it out as easily as I can. but you do want to make sure that you can see your guidelines so that way you don't get lost in the blend, especially if you're just starting out. And you'll notice towards the back of the head, the hair starts to grow upwards as opposed to on the side. It's just at a different angle. So you'll notice when I get to the back of the head, I'm still coming up and I'm not cutting at a side angle too much when trying to cut a lot of hair. As you can see right here, I'm using the corner of the blade coming up just to make sure we do not get down to that one guard open. Take a step back, make sure that it's all consistent. And you'll notice every time I pass the clipper, I also comb it back down. And that's because when you come against the hair with the clipper, you know, it lifts the hair up. So you want to make sure that the hair is laid down as best as it can. So that way we can make sure that it's truly blended. Now, I believe this 2 guard with the lever open is the biggest guard we are going to use. So I'm coming in and scooping out as I get towards the top of this blend, because I don't want this to be a mohawk type of faux hawk, right? I want it to be wider. I want it to be a little more with the times, right? I do believe the skinny mohawk can be good for some people, usually young kids, but if someone a little older is going to do it, we want to keep it wider. Now we're going to come in with our 1.5 and we're going to begin to blend down from that 2 guard. So we're starting off open, and then right there I close my lever to get rid of some more hair. And the key to fading and being sure to just limit how much you mess up is to start off open when getting rid of lines, and then if it isn't doing the job, you'll want to close that little by little. But you can see that line already begins to blend as we move our way down. And in the back here, like I said, I'm really utilizing the corner of that blade to get rid of those dark areas without pushing into the back too much, because again, we want to keep it wide. And now for that last bottom line, we're going to come in with our half guard open. And like I always say, if open isn't doing the job, you'll close it notch by notch on that lever. And as you can see, the line is beginning to blend. We're starting to see everything finally come together. As we get towards the back, you'll see me go back to using the corner, and step by step, little by little, it's looking right. And you'll notice I like to take a step back from the blend and look away, because a lot of times when you're looking at the haircut for long periods of time, your eyes kind of get used to it. You start not to see certain stuff, so you want to make sure to take a step back. If anything, look in the mirror behind you. It gives you like a second set of eyes, and then detail dark spots. And now we are gonna give him a nice beard blend. I forgot he asked for it, so I did a normal blend, but he wanted to go a little deeper. And we're gonna cut off the entire back of the beard, going all the way to the skin, and then we're gonna do a gradual blend leading up to like his chin hair. But we're following that same system: bald line, lever open, 1 open, 2 open. Like I said, we don't switch up, because when you find a system of cutting that works for you, you want to make sure that you perfect it so you can give out quality and consistency on every haircut and every hair texture. And like I said, if you want to go more in depth with my hair cutting system, you can get trained by me in my online training program at J Clipper Hands Academy. Link is in bio. We have about 203 students enrolled already, and I dropped this back in April or March, I believe. So I'm super excited to be working with these students. I would love for you to be a part of it as well. So yeah, link in bio again if you want to join the community of barbers who are ready to grow. And now we're with our 1 guard, and the 1 guard closed, didn't get rid of that line fully, so I'm just tapping away with my half guard. The beard blend tends to be a lot easier just because of the texture of the hair, but you do got to be careful to not take off too much hair. So you'll see me tap and go, tap and go. Now we're with our 1.5 open. And I guess my camera died there. I did not realize, but as you can see, we finished that blend after the 1.5. And now to transition from that 2 guard open at the top of that fade, we're gonna do some clipper over comb. So I'm coming in with my comb and flaring out, and any hair sticking out of that comb, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of. I like to use clipper over comb as a way to be more efficient, because I could go to my 3 and then my 4 and then a 5, but anything above a 2, clipper over comb can pretty much handle really a 1.5. So if you're able to utilize this, you can save a lot of time and be a lot more detailed with your blends. So you'll see I'm just positioning my comb, following the shape of the haircut, and it already looks a lot cleaner. But with clipper over comb, also a lot of times, since the clipper cuts so bluntly, it can leave a little bit of weight that you don't want to cut off, but you also don't want to be there. So we'll come in with our thinning shears after this to go ahead and soften everything up. But right here, I'm using this comb as a guard, and I have my lever all the way open, just detailing the back of that blend, and it's transitioning into the back very nicely. And like I said, we're gonna soften everything up with that thinning shear. So we're coming in, scooping out, still following that same idea, and this blend is looking super clean. And a cool trick that I like to do to detail dark spots as well is use my scissor to kind of just point cut at those dark spots to detail just a little more than the clipper would. And I did frame out the back of the neck. This is kind of the end piece of getting it nice and V'd up. I wish I would have recorded that. It would have been beneficial. But we did do a design on the other side, so I'm not going to bother showing you the blend on this side because it's the same thing. But I am going to show you the design. Now for me personally, I don't do crazy designs. I like to do designs that complement the haircut. So we're going to start off with a swoosh and then another swoosh. Like I said, we're just trying to get it looking clean. Give them a design that kind of matches the shape of the cut. With designs, you kind of have to be creative, especially when starting off. Be ready to make lines a lot thicker than you want. But again, you want to start off by making your line as thin as possible. And then, if you need to widen it up, you'll come in later with the razor or the clipper to widen it up just a little bit more. But as you can see, so far the design is coming together. Like I said, I'm not the best, but I'm just trying to give them something that complements it. There is really good dudes at designs. Go ahead and follow them. We got guys like Rob the Original going crazy, Taylor Cuts on Instagram. But now we're gonna go to the other side, and that blend is smacking. So we're starting at the top of the arch and then going to the bottom and connecting those 2 points in the middle just to clean up that arch, make it look nice and clean. And we're just going with the grain, a 1.5 on the beard, because we want to keep it darker just so that beard blend can really pop. You can see that slight line on the left side of his beard. He said he did that the last time he lined it up. That's why there's like a light line there, but we're just gonna go ahead and let that grow back. And now we're going in the middle to the corners. I'm not trying to create the sharpest line possible because he does wear it kind of messy and textured, but we just want to make sure that it's nice and symmetrical. So we're starting in the middle and then moving towards his corners. And we are going to go ahead and sauce it up with our enhancement. So we're just going to darken up his vertical bar and arch area with our Kiss Express and alcohol mix. And all we want to do is match the darkest shade of hair with this area, right? We don't want to overspray and make it way darker than the rest. We want it to look as natural as possible. And as you can see, I'm just lining up the design with the razor just to make it pop a little bit more. Nothing too crazy. And the thing is with designs too, especially ones that are super intricate, they take a lot of time. So you want to be sure that you plan that out in your schedule. And now we're going to go ahead and line up our client's mustache. Nothing crazy, just want to get it off the lip, clean up the top. But that blend with the lineup and the hair on top, once it's styled, this thing is going to go crazy. And now we're going to recline our client back and line up the bottom. We're just following the line he has there. We're going to take it up a little bit just because we cut off a little more on the beard than usual. So I think when beards are shorter, you kind of have to line it up higher. If not, it just looks like a neck beard, and we don't want that. There's that line I was talking about. He said he tapped into his beard on accident a few days actually before this. And now we're going to use our razor to sharpen up the hairline and the beard. So when using the razor, you want to make sure to stretch the skin in the opposite direction of which you are using it, just because you don't want to cause any irritation or cuts. Same on this other side. And when lining up a beard, I always like to have my client blow a bubble, at least for the initial line. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way towards the top. This is going to allow me to get that nice round shape without digging into the beard more than needed, right? Because you do have to cut off some hairs in order to achieve that shape, but you want to keep it as high as you can. Then I wiped it away and relined it to make sure that we do have a crispy and sharp line. And now we're gonna go ahead and sauce it up, style it up with our level 3. I can't use anything else because my boy is sponsored by level 3, so you know we gotta work that into the video. But we're just using their matte paste to bring out that texture, and as you can see, his hair just looks a lot more lively. Already it's bringing out the texture that we created at the beginning with our shear work, and this haircut is going crazy. My boy is Las Vegas ready. He did his first teaching class at this Las Vegas Expo, which I'm super happy and excited for him as well. But this is the cut. Hopefully this video helps you in some way, shape, or form. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And again, if you want to go more in depth, join my online training program, link in bio. But like always, I will catch y'all next time. Peace.